wonder if I lost my eye.
Punches him square in the throat.
Don't kill me. And he's liking it.
Crushing beers on your way out.
Yeah.
You ready, Chazz? You ready?
Yeah,
I'm
always
ready.
I'm
All right,
ready.
let's do it.
Let's do it.
Welcome back to the Picky Boys podcast.
Welcome.
Ready? We got another new guest today. So, who are you?
I'm John. People call me DJ JohnnyBombs, but
We got DJ JohnnyBombs.
DJ JohnnyBombs in the house.
Who are you?
I'm Danny. That's it.
All right, I'm Chazz, aka Caramel Drizzle.
Caramel Drizzle.
That's
what they call me.
It's a new one every time.
It's a new one every time.
That's what they call me. What do you mean?
I'm Antonio, and let's start this picnic, boys. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
I love the motif here. It makes me feel like Indiana Jones a little bit. Like
Oh.
I have to sift through the jungle.
No,
I
I
was
feel
thinking
you.
that. That's what I was thinking when I first walked in.
A lot of people, when they first see it, they're like, "Oh, you guys aren't outside."
And we're
I swear.
And like when you really think about it,
It would make no
it
sense
makes
if
no
we're
sense
outside.
at all
It
how
would
we could
make no
possibly do
sense.
this
They're
outside.
like, yeah, we thought you only get like as soon as, because it would mean that as soon as it's a good day, we'd have to go now. We need to film now. It makes no sense.
Right.
And speaking of Indiana Jones, let's just jump right into it.
All right.
I think it's so. Well, we met you because you DJ at a bar, Bourbon Street that we go to, and do you actually remember? I'm sure you don't remember this, but the time we met you was actually very hilarious.
I might remember it. I remember. It's funny. I remember a lot of specific things about meeting people, but not names.
So basically, we were just sitting at the bar doing our thing. We had been dancing a little bit, and so we were taking a break. And I guess you had like half of a sandwich left, and it was half of a steak sandwich, and you were like, "I'll give you this steak sandwich," and I was like, "Cool." He was like, you just follow me on Instagram. and I was like, "Sounds like an even trade."
You saved their lives.
I think he was eyeing it. That's why.
Yeah.
Probably. Yeah. I mean,
out of everyone, I remember you the most. I don't know why. You were there.
He was
I was there.
No, I don't know why.
Is it because
I think it's
he was
because
just like passed out?
There was there was another night where we were on the rooftop and he was DJing.
Yes.
And I went up to him.
That's right. That's how I
because
remember
I had
you.
seen his him powerlifting and I was like, this guy's incredibly strong.
So we all followed you at that point, and then we slowly discovered that you are just an Instagram legend.
Essentially, yeah.
Funny, yeah. I try to keep it interesting on there, man. I appreciate it.
No, you definitely got to keep it interesting.
Yeah. I post. I do realize that I post things that are just. Even for me, they're like kind of, it's like out of left field. Like, wait, what?
With the new thing with the Godzilla thing.
Yeah.
We watched, I think I've watched every single one of them.
Did you watch the movie?
No, I didn't see the movie yet.
Oh.
They won't see it with me.
I saw, yeah, but
Why is it?
good?
You could spoil it a little bit if you want.
I could?
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay. I mean, I love the visual effects. I mean, the CGI is amazing. And especially, like, being a filmmaker, it's like, I mean, when I watch stuff like that, I'm just blown away because I know how much, like, manpower, how it just involved. It's so difficult. And the way they made Godzilla look and Ghidorah and Rodan and all that, it's just... Mothra, it's epic, you know? That's definitely, for me, the best part. But
The visuals?
Yeah, the visuals, for sure. And if you're going, and a lot of people say that too online, if you read it, they're like, if you're going to see Godzilla, don't go for the story, go for the fight. But, I mean, that's where I get a little bit...
Upset?
Because I want there to be a story. I can't sit there and watch just, like, monsters flashing lights, and then hear, like, terrible dialogue, you know? It's just... And it gets bad. It's really...
So where'd you come up with inspiration to just run out with the Godzilla screaming behind you?
That's the other thing too. In the movie, they do a lot of close-ups and reaction shots of like the cast, and you know that they're not looking at an actual dinosaur, so it's like, or a monster. Yeah. And you know, a lot of it's like and zoom. And it's like a lot. You gotta watch the whole movie. It could be like maybe 40 times. It's crazy.
Now when I see it, I'm gonna be like, oh, there's one. Oh, there's another one.
Please
He's
count
right.
and come up with and let me know.
I'll DM you how many it is.
Because somebody, one of the guys who's in my movie too, his name is Blake, and he manages AMC. And I saw Ma last night actually, and no, Wednesday night. Sorry. Thursday morning. I don't even know
it's
what's
all right.
going on.
You saw it.
I saw it after work. It's crazy. It was like 3 a.m. Anyway, so I saw it and Yeah, it was fantastic. It was great. But,
Really?
You know what? It wasn't fantastic, but it was good. It was good. It's hard. It's like one of those things where it's like really good, and then the end kind of leaves you like, damn, you know.
Yeah,
So
could have been better.
But anyway, I was telling him to count how many times the reaction is, like how many times.
What number did he give you?
Oh no, he didn't know. He saw it, and I told him next time he watches it to count. But I gotta say it's gotta be 20. It's gotta be 20.
20.
I mean everything. It isn't even just the monsters. It's like other scenes too. Like I don't want to spoil.
No,
it.
you could.
saw it.
No, I didn't see
you
it.
could
None of you saw it.
You could
What
spoil
are
it.
you guys doing? Sitting in here?
Yeah,
I guess
yeah.
Is that why you got it looking like outside? Pretend you're like, we're outside, guys.
We never leave.
We never leave. But they think we're outside. That's what's important. You can spoil it a little bit. It's fine.
I kind of don't want it for you
Oh,
guys.
all
but
right. It's up to you.
I'll just say one thing. It isn't just the reaction to the monsters. It's reactions to helicopters coming down. Reactions to, I mean, it's so many times where I start noticing. I'm like, what the hell's going on? Why is it so many?
I just imagine that a pen falls and
It's kind of like that. I'm not lying. It's really like that. I have to. Now you got me.
Oh, yeah, we got you.
All right, so. You know, in these kinds of movies, it's like Armageddon, like end of the world, like destruction movies,
Yeah.
where like Earth is threatened. All right, well, there's always the situation where someone gets access to high level clearance. Like somehow they get in a room where it's like, how can they get in there? You can't even get in a house down the street. And yet there's this, and in this one, there's a little kid who's, I guess, the daughter of a highly prolific scientist, and her mom.
The Stranger Things kid, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she, I forgot her name.
Millie Bobby Brown? Millie Bobby Brown?
I think it's Millie Bobby Brown.
don't even
All
get
right.
me started about Millie Bobby.
Oh, continue.
All right. So anyway, of course, she somehow gets into the. First of all, she's in like the lab, I guess, and they're looking at Martha, who's like, I guess, frozen in ice.
All right.
So like, and that beyond that point is like highly. Like you can't get in. It's like classified area. You can't. Somehow she like some dopey guard's like standing there and she grabs his badge and then it's like boop and then runs in. Goes, hey, wait, like that.
And the doors
I'm
close
like,
like
oh God, please get me out of here. And what's the reaction to all the people when she's doing this? Because she goes in and she's like, and she's looking at the ice and they're like. And she's like, I was like, all right, we got it. The reaction, as doing that, since I made this film, I envisioned the director telling the cast like, all right, more reaction. I need more reaction. And they're like, no, not like that, like this. And that's why I just made all those Instagram things because it was just. I don't know. I just felt like it was funny. I did one.
Oh, it was funny.
I did one, and I was like, I mean, if you see the movie and you can count, to let me know, man. I really got.
We'll definitely do that for you. Well, at the end of the day, what would you rate the movie?
Oh,
Uh-oh.
yeah, it's bad. There's an app called Must that I'm on, and like you log all the movies you've ever seen, and then you like rate them, and I think I gave it a 2 out of 10.
Oh.
Yeah, I gave it. I was a little harsh. I do feel like it's more like a 5. It's just
right.
I sometimes react, especially because I'm an editor too. So it's, yeah, Blake also told me that too, and he made a good point when he told me that. Because I honestly, like, sometimes I watch a movie as an like not as a film goer, but more as like an editor, and I can't do that because there was a lot of wonky cuts and stuff, and I just get uncomfortable. So when I leave the theater, my instant reaction when I see stuff like that is. You know, that I can't. You know, I gotta give it a 1 or a 2.
Yeah, I have a total opposite problem. I have like honeymoon goggles when it comes to movies. Like whenever I get out of a movie, I'm like, that was fantastic.
It's the best thing I've ever seen in my life.
There have been many movies that I think I came out of like Transformers 3 or something,
I like
and
that
I
movie
was
a lot.
like, that's the best movie I've ever seen. and everybody was like, dude, what the fuck are you talking about? That's impossible.
Watch it.
And I was like,
again.
I swear I can't think of one right now. And then a few days and the dust settles, and I'm like, oh, okay,
All right,
it
it wasn't that
great.
It was a 2 out of 10.
It's funny because when I go to a movie with these two, this one's watching it for the story, and then this guy's watching it for the visual effects.
All right,
I like
well,
the visual.
You're definitely gonna like.
Yeah, I'm
So-
a big visual effects guy.
I forget because there was a different Transformers movie, like the first or the second one we came out of, and Tony was like, "That was great," and you were vehemently upset. You
Yeah.
went, Antonio, you're dumb.
Well,
What are you
some of them, they got really bad. The last, I think we talked about this a few
Yeah,
podcasts.
we complain about Transformers a lot. I don't know why.
The last one was really bad.
It's because Mark
Yeah, it doesn't
Wahlberg
matter.
just going,
It's
Optimus.
It's because Mark Wahlberg's playing Mark Wahlberg as he does.
I actually like Bumblebee though.
I saw
did.
Bumblebee.
Yeah.
I liked it too.
It that had more story. It's probably what I liked.
I
but-
don't know what John Cena was doing in that movie though.
Yeah, that's another one.
I don't know what he was doing in that movie.
You know, I mean, he wasn't. You know, it's funny. He's not a great actor, but I feel like he didn't distract as much as he normally does. Yeah.
I don't know. Seeing John Cena in anything, it's
Yeah,
like
it's
that's
really
John
hard.
Cena.
It's funny
yeah.
because John Cena has been the lead role of many movies that are all just not great.
Straight to DVD.
Straight to
He does
DVD.
a
Oh,
lot of
for
kiddie
sure.
movies.
I think the WWE has a movie arm of their business that they just produce.
Yeah,
movies with.
that's true. They do, and he was always in those army movies.
the Marine, right?
Yeah,
The Marine. He was in the
Marine.
Marine, and then it was like,
yeah.
God, what's it? The Miz? Then the Miz was in the Marine
oh God,
3.
that guy. Let's not talk about the Miz.
Why, what's wrong with The Miz?
I don't know. I just feel like he's a douchebag. I really don't want to.
Well,
talk
his
about that
character's definitely a douchebag.
guy. Yeah.
All right, we don't have to talk about the Miz.
Every time I do see John Cena in a movie, I hear that it's John Cena.
Yeah,
And it's
it's
like,
It's like, what are you doing in a military outfit? You should be shirtless with jean cut shorts.
I know it's
Hey,
crazy.
who wrestles in jean shorts?
Jorts.
What was that? Who
Did any
made
of you
that
guys see
call?
Blockers?
I have no idea what you're
What? Oh, I know. I know
Yeah.
what you're talking about. When John Cena butt chugs
When John
in the movie.
Cena butt chugs?
Oh, I don't even
Can you imagine
know.
seeing John Cena butt chug?
Oh, no.
John Cena was.
Oh, wait a minute. I saw that. Blockers.
Yes, really?
Oh, my God. I blocked
That
that,
was-
out of my head. Blockers. I blocked that out of my
Such a
head.
ridiculous
Yeah,
movie.
that is a ridiculous movie.
If I walked into a party and I saw someone the size of John Cena with a funnel in his ass, I don't know what
Walk out.
I don't know what I'd
It
do.
was-
I'd probably stare.
That's
Actually,
the type of thing you
I'd
gotta
see if he
walk
could do
out.
it. Then I'd leave. Be like, that party was strange.
That's funny, man.
But yeah, so I want to hear more about your movie.
Yeah, I want to hear
Oh,
about.
right.
I want to hear
Yeah.
about how you became a fan of Indiana Jones. Everything.
Oh, wow. So, I'm just going to lay it out there.
Do it.
All right, so I had a hard childhood. So my parents were divorced, and it was rough. And I had a tape of Raiders, and I remember my mom had friends come over, and it was a guy and a girl, they were dating, and the guy brought me a little action figure, and this was the early '80s. I was a child, maybe 3, 4. And not old enough to really understand, but I remember he gave me the toy, and I thought it was cool. And then he had the tape, and he popped it in, and the girl he was with was like, "He's too young to like that." And I remember clicked that I didn't want to be too young, so I instantly was just like, "No, I want to watch this." I think I was about 4, and he popped it in, and I fell in love. And it was my escape. Whenever things were bad, I popped that tape in. I just watched it, beginning to end. And I just always wanted to be. It was escape, It was escape. Sorry to get so heavy there.
No, dude.
No,
But it's
yeah.
true. I mean, that's really what it is. And then, I grew up and I realized, all right, I can't be Indiana Jones. That was, what any kid wants to be. They want to be Captain America.
Yeah.
They want to be. And then you get to be about I guess 9 or 10, and you're like, go to school, and people what's wrong with you? You can't be Indiana Jones. And then that faded off, and it wasn't until my girlfriend, who's she's into photography, she's an artist, she's really talented, and my girlfriend Debbie, and she
Shout out Debbie.
Shout out Debbie.
Shout out Debbie.
yeah. She wanted a camera, so and a good one. So we went to B&H, and she was looking at a Sony mirrorless, and I had no idea really about cameras, even though I edited for a supplement company. No plug. And,
Bitch.
So I knew how to edit, and I'd always thought about making films. I always thought about it, but when you're filming stuff with your camera and your friends and my brother, it would never turn out right. It would always be kind of shit.
Yeah, we know that. We know that.
Yeah.
So it's you watch it back and you're like, we like this. But,
That's exactly.
you guys want to watch this? And then they watch it and they're like, what the fuck is this? It's not even funny at all. What the fuck? So, the guy trying to sell us the camera is like, oh, it's broadcast quality, 4K. And I'm like, broadcast quality?
Oh.
And I was like, bing. And then it just went on. And I was like, is this the camera you want? Because in my head, I'm like, because it's the camera I want. So then I got it for her. And next, I started, penning this Indiana Jones and the Secret of the Queen's Giant, and that's a plug that I will put out there.
Yeah, definitely.
And
We're gonna be spraying that everywhere.
yeah. And without giving too much of that away, that's a quick one. I was about 12 at that time, and my dad, I was sitting on the couch watching TV. My dad, who worked for the Parks Department, came home, and he was like, why don't you go outside? It's beautiful out. And I was like watching, I don't know, Twilight Zone or some shit. And I was like, where am I going to go? What is there to do? I just want to hang out. He's like, go to the park. Go do something. I'm like, what's at the park? I know. I'm like, what's at the park? The lake? The park? What am I going to do? And I was just sitting there, and then he's like, well, honestly, and I'm going to do it in my dad's voice. He's like, John, there's a park, and there's a tree. You wouldn't believe it. It's gigantic. It's old, and they put a fence around it. They don't want the public to know about it, but it's the tallest and oldest thing in New York City. And I'm thinking he's full of it. I'm like, what the hell is this guy talking about? All right, there's a tree. So he left, and of course, my brain starts thinking of like, man, they don't want people to be there. Who else to discover that but Indiana Jones? And I just daydreamed about it. I never went to see the tree, but I always thought about it. And then I looked it up years later because it just, I don't know, it stuck with me. I know my dad's not a liar, so, and if he said it was that, it was. And if you look it up, the Queen's Giant is an actual thing. It's a giant tree, and it's very it's behemoth, and you can get inside it too. There's like an opening, cool. Like you ever see I've only seen it like maybe Winnie the Pooh, where there's like a hole in it.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that. But it's a big hole like that, and you can get inside. I've actually been inside the tree. I don't want to say too much about the hide this. I always thought about it, and then once I got the camera, I started penning it, and I had some help with my brother helped me, and my friend Steven, who works at Royal Collectibles, that they can get a plug too. That's a great comic store.
Yeah, I like that store a lot.
We used to
Mike
go to
is a
Royal
great
Collectibles
guy.
from
Steven
time.
Biscotti is the one. He gave me the confidence to write it. He was the one who like pushed me. Like, yeah, you should do that. And I just the more I got motivated, the more I didn't feel so childish doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And since I wanted to be a filmmaker, because that's when they said broadcast quality, I was like, man, I'd love to get into filmmaking. What could I make? I mean, I have some ideas other than Indiana Jones, but I didn't want to be the guy who's like the wannabe Quentin Tarantino. Like, come see my movie, and then everyone's sitting there like, what is this shit? It's like just some stupid shit. I wanted to get my feet wet and kind of steal everything Spielberg had. That's kind of what I did, because I know his shots from watching Raiders so many times. And Temple of Doom was actually the first movie I saw in a movie theater too.
Really?
That's one more story. Why not? We're fucking doing a
Yeah,
podcast.
This is what
right.
you're here for.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
my dad, because now I'm a big fan of Indiana Jones, and it's 1984, and I'm 5. I think I was 5 when this movie came out. So, yeah, 5 or 6. And my dad took me, and I don't remember what it was, but it was he bought tickets for like a kids movie. And because at that time, Temple of Doom was the first movie to be NC-17, I think, because of the heart ripping out. Yeah, I don't know if
Not
you guys
because of the
seen it.
brains?
No, the heart ripping out of the chest.
Yeah, that was a tough one too.
Yeah, I didn't want to give a spoiler. I don't know.
I've seen it.
I'm
No,
kidding,
I've seen
I'm
it,
kidding. But when he rips the heart out, that it's a violent scene. So they made it like you had to have parental guidance. It's the first movie to do that ever. And it's funny. My dad, he's just awesome. So he got the tickets and for a kids movie. I don't remember what. It could be like American Tail or something. I don't know what was out in that time. And we're walking towards the thing, and I realized we're not going towards Temple. So I kind of did that kid where you fall down and temper tantrum.
Yeah.
I was like, no, and I'm like dragging my feet. I didn't want to go, and he was like, come on, and he's like, what's wrong? I want to see Temple of Doom. I want to see Indiana Jones. He's like, you're too young for that one. You're too little. You can't see. I'm like, I don't care. Screaming, yelling. So he's like, all right. So he took me, and because he snuck me in, the theater was packed. There wasn't a seat open except in the front. So we sat in the first 2 seats. I remember I sat like this. And it's the only movie, because I've seen, side story, I seen Heat sitting that close once, the movie with Pacino and De Niro. It's the first time. I saw that sitting close, and it was kind of unbearable, because that close.
The neck
But
breaking
as a
seats.
kid, I didn't care. Like, I always think of it, and I didn't have a complaint. except when the chest, when he ripped the heart out, when Molaram did that, I went like this. I liked that.
Yeah.
And my dad looked at me, I remember, and he was like, "You're right." I was like, I loved it. But I was completely shitting my pants. Because, I mean, as a kid, you're like seeing this, and you see Molaram with the horns, and he comes out, and you're just like, and he's like, Molaram, Sularam. Like, oh my God. And you're just sitting back. And it just, it like, I don't know, it branded my brain. You know?
Yeah, and honestly, when you think about it, the front row as a kid is probably a great first movie experience because it looks fucking gigantic.
Yeah.
You know, the screen is huge.
You're like, it's like on top of you, and so you're kind of back in the seat, I guess.
Yeah.
My dad probably had a miserable time.
He probably came out with a sore neck.
I don't give a shit, Dad.
Yeah, that's cool. It must have been like, given all like the history behind Indiana Jones and all that, it must have been like just so awesome to like get in gear for like the first day of shoot.
Yeah, no, it was. That's another thing too. I had help from my friend Jared on Instagram. I'd give him a shout. It's Throw Me the Whip.
Throw me the whip,
Yeah,
Jared.
he's the one that gave me like all the leads on the proper attire, because everything I wear is pretty screen accurate. Like I have the actual shoes. Excuse me, they're called Alden 405s. I wear the actual shoes Jones wears. And if you think about it, it's from the 30s, so it's like a lot of... Oh, and I also learned how to do the whip, too.
Crack a whip?
I can
That's
crack
awesome.
a whip. I learned that. I got hit in the
That's
eye,
cool.
too.
You hit yourself in the face?
I hit we have an outtake of it. It actually, because I swung it around and it hit a branch behind me. I didn't know, because I'm out in the jungle.
Yeah.
When I practice...
I'm out in the jungle.
Yeah, I'm out in the wild, you know. And when I was learning how to do it, you know, from YouTube and stuff, and I'm learning how to do it in my yard, and there's nothing behind me, so I'm able to do all these, like the overhead crack, and I'm able to do it. And when I'm doing it, there's nothing breaking it. You know, I'm also on a level plane too.
Yeah.
So when we're out in the field, we're kind of like on a hill, and there's like branches. So I'm trying to clear the area, but you know, so I swung it around like this, and it hit a branch behind me, and when it did, it like changed the trajectory. So that luckily it was the handle that hit me, but it felt like I saw stars. It hurt. Wow. And I went down, and all I remember was as I was going down, thinking, "Oh man, I hope it wasn't the end, because if that hit me, you know, I wonder if I lost my eye, because that's how bad it hurt." And when I got up, I was like this with my eye. I was like trying to. My brother was actually filming it, because he was like, we were practicing, and it was like outtakes, and he was filming, and like he just turned it off immediately. He was like, all he heard is, "Oh shit!" Like he thought I was a goner.
Yeah.
And I went down on all fours. Now I'm like thinking like, I had so many thoughts, but one of them is like, "You fucking idiot! You're out here. You're not Indiana Jones. What are you doing? You lost your eye, jerk." And then I'm like hands, you know, down, and I had dirt all over me, and I'm like doing it. I mean, that was a bad. I mean, that's part of the movie
the
magic.
process.
Yeah, I
Your
really
eye
like
looks good.
I really like the idea of you practicing with like a whip in your backyard, your neighbors being like,
What the fuck is
God.
going on?
You know what? It's freaking hilarious. Because it's funny you say that. I have a lot of jokes about that. But my neighbors definitely. I mean, the crack it breaks the sound barrier, so it's
loud.
It's I mean, I wouldn't it's loud.
Yeah.
And like my neighbors definitely are like, "Look, what is this fucking asshole?" Here's another thing. My neighbors have had their fill, because I've been there probably about 17 years, and I'm a drummer. And I'm in the band. Now, here's another plug. I'm in the band Dead by Choice.
Dead by
We're
Choice.
on Spotify and everything. You can find us everywhere. iTunes, everywhere.
yeah, and I saw all your Spotify plays
over
are
1,000.
Like, yeah, over 10,000.
Over,
on a lot of them.
over 10,000.
Yeah, we're approaching 20,000. We haven't played a show. Me and my brother were just talking. He's the lead singer of my band and guitarist. He writes all the songs. And yeah, we were just talking. We haven't played a show because of the movie. Like we've been so busy, and like I don't know. I guess people are searching the name on Spotify or whatever it is. Maybe they like it. But we haven't promoted much. I mean, I do a little bit of Instagram stuff, but
If you haven't promoted much, that's doing good.
That's
it's
cool.
doing
Yeah,
well.
that's great.
We were just looking, because you were coming on, so we were just looking through everything.
oh yeah,
And it looks
awesome.
it looks like it's moving.
Yeah,
So.
thanks. Yeah, and if you add up all the songs, it's almost. I mean, it's nearing 100,000, I guess. 'cause
That's crazy.
Yeah,
That's great.
yeah. It's pretty cool. It is. I mean, and that's like kind of. See, that's the thing. Like, because drums, I've been playing a long time with my brother, so that's like been a passion. And that's another thing I always felt was more realistic. Like Indiana Jones is kind of always felt. you know, it's just like when someone's like they want to be Spider-Man, you know, and they're like 25. You know, you're like, you can't be Spider-Man. I'm sorry, Danny, you can't be the thing, man. I'm sorry. I know you want to be the king, but you can't do it.
Danny, can't do it, man.
Yeah.
Sorry.
But I mean, that's you know, and you know, like you said, my Instagram's. It is kind of crazy. I'm like all over the place.
Yeah, no, that's why. Yeah,
I am because it's like I can't say enough. Like I have. Oh, don't forget your band. Don't forget. I mean, it's like so many things. But I just feel like I'm not living if I'm not trying to do what I like to do.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
that's
I mean,
completely fair.
and,
It's-
and like for as much stuff as your Instagram pushes out, I think it is like somewhat consistent. Like there's like these storylines like, oh yeah, these are about like lifting weights, and these are about like, oh, these are just funny Godzilla things, and it's hilarious.
And then there's promotions for your band, and then there's the karaoke nights at Bourbon.
karaoke.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh my
You
God.
guys never come to that. You guys got to come through.
So we'll come.
All right.
We'll come through.
Oh,
Those,
and I want you to be at the movie premiere too. I definitely want you.
Yes!
Yeah.
Yes!
No, for sure.
Dude, you have no idea. You have no idea.
For sure.
Literally-
We were hoping.
Literally-
100%.
You have no idea.
Absolutely.
How
We will
much
come.
I was hoping for.
I'll wear a
that.
suit.
Yeah.
I'll
Did
wear
you
a suit.
guys? Oh, no, I am too actually. And I'll let this spoiler out. I'm wearing the same suit, the tuxedo he wore in Temple. I'm wearing the white one, the
that's-
James Bond with the.
That's
Wow.
so
Oh,
good.
that's
That is
so
literally awesome.
good.
That is so
Yeah,
cool.
Yeah, I went and already picked it out and stuff too. It's pretty expensive rental. It's like $190. I was like, all right,
You're
$190.
so
I
is
guess
there-
we're doing this.
Dude, if you weren't gonna give us that on your own, I was gonna hint it so hard.
No,
You have no idea. I feel like-
no.
So is there a timeline on that?
Yeah, July, probably July 17th is like the soft. Right now, the guy. Let me tell this story because
All right, go.
Luca Canessa and Recall Studio he's the guy who really took this like dream and made it a reality. Because as good as and artistic as Debbie is with the camera, she's never shot a movie.
Yeah.
So like we start in the infancy of the filmmaking process. There was a bunch of us, and you know it kind of unfolded that. You know, it was going to be difficult for us to handle. And we were at this place in Brooklyn eating burritos, and it was like a table like this, and it's like a big table, so it's got a communal table. So like there's other people sitting there, and it's the four of us. It's Blake, my brother, Debbie, and me, and I'm like vocally complaining about we can't edit in 4K. There's no way. I don't have a powerful machine. It's going to crash. Blah blah blah. I'm going to have to like lessen the what's it called, the quality of this thing, and and they were just like listening, and they're like, well, maybe we could do this, maybe. And Luca's sitting on the end, and he hears us, and he comes over, and he's like, guys, I hear you're speaking about the movie making, and I can do this for you. And he puts it, he's Italian, so he put it down in his card, and you know, being Chris and I kind of looked at each other, but Luca was different than what we normally experience in the band. A lot of guys in the band are like, hey, you guys are great. You know, I used to be Led Zeppelin's manager. You know, that kind of shit.
Yeah, it's like, all right.
And I'm like, oh, yeah, really? Yeah, okay. And then, you know, we get a lot of that shit. So, like, with this, I kind of looked at Chris, but Luca felt real. Like,
Yeah.
And I knew he was legit. And I was just excited once he put his card down. I'm like, this is the guy. I mean, he's going to help us. So we left that thing kind of all of us, like, excited and hopeful that this guy can help us. So I texted him, and I'm like, oh, Saturday we're going to shoot. I didn't tell him anything about the movie. So he gets in the car, I pick him up. He gets in the car, and he's like, so, John, tell me about this movie you're going to shoot. And I'm like, reluctant. I don't want to tell him, like, it's a bunch of us. We're going to go into the weeds, and we're going to do this freaking thing about Indiana Jones.
I'm Indiana
Yeah,
Jones.
yeah, yeah. So I kind of told him like that. I was like, it's an independent film. It's a fan film, and we're driving, you know. And I turned my head. I'm like, it's Indiana Jones. And he's like, and I'm not lying. I swear on my life, that's literally how it went. I felt his head turn. I studied Raiders of the Lost Ark for the first year of film school back in Italy.
That's
20
crazy.
years
That's
ago.
crazy.
And when
That's
that
so
happened,
weird.
I was like, oh my God.
Almost crashed.
That's
Yeah.
that's destiny, man.
Yeah,
that
because
is crazy.
and mostly because for us, you know, like being that I watched so much of Spielberg, I grew up as a Spielberg kid, so I know every zoom, every pan, every shot angle, everything. But I just don't know how to execute it, you know?
Yeah.
So like if it was me and Debbie out there, it would be a lot of like us trying to figure out how we did this. And like, so when I tell Luca, he's like, oh, this is a cowboy shot, I know this shot, this is a, and he knows the names of everything. So it was like really awesome to just be like, Luca, you know that scene where he's looking for the baskets and Marion's and they zoom in, and he knew exactly like how to make that happen, how to get it. So it happens a few times in the film. He gets I looked it up too. I googled like 50 shots that you like film, like iconic shots, and we got a lot of them.
Really?
We got a lot, yeah.
That's cool.
We wanted to get a rack focus. We weren't able to really get that.
All right.
But that's actually like in Citizen Kane. There's a scene. It's really impressive. That's why that movie gets so much glory, because fortune and glory, because. There's a scene where the kid's playing in the yard, and this is back, when it's Citizen Kane, I think it's the 30s. Back and she's playing in the yard, and like everything's in focus from the yard all the way to the front, and that would have been hard. We needed to mark the lens. We couldn't really do it, but it's one shot that we didn't get. We might get maybe in another film, but I mean, of all the iconic shots, we got so many, and I'm so proud of them.
That sounds
awesome.
sounds like a lot of work, and it sounds like no, it's impressive.
Did you guys see the trailer?
I watched the trailer.
I
Wait.
didn't. I didn't see it.
No, I just saw the poster.
The poster.
Where's
Debbie drew the poster.
The poster is fantastic.
The poster is
This
fantastic.
really good. We'll put the poster up on
Yeah,
the
I'll
screen.
throw the poster up.
Yeah,
We'll put
awesome.
Debbie's little tag on it as well.
Yeah, awesome.
No, I don't. The trailer was on YouTube.
It's on Instagram actually, but I didn't put it on. I was supposed to make a YouTube. I just haven't.
Oh, okay. I
Yeah,
got you.
I'm gonna do that.
I'll check that out.
It's
No,
one of those
definitely.
things I gotta do. I gotta print posters. So many things. to
What
get them
would you say the runtime of the movie is roughly?
on. About 25 minutes. There's an after trailer, after credit.
After credits?
Yeah.
Go
there's
Marvel on it?
We had to do a little more. Well, Indiana Jones. Funny thing, Indiana Jones comic books are Marvel. Like his
Really?
comic
Really?
books.
Yeah, I saw your Instagram post about your collection. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
It's good. Actually, the Throw Me the Whip, one of my friends, he kind of pointed out I'm missing a few, so it's like a little bit of like that, So I ordered them on eBay, the ones I was missing. It was like, but not in the Marvel. I have all the Marvel ones. I just didn't have this Dark Horse. I didn't have all of them.
Like
I saw you talking
the
about that
ones?
because you were going through. You're like, yeah, I got this Dark. I might be missing a few. You
Yeah,
said
yeah. I was missing like 4 of them, 5 maybe. But it's kind of what I thought. Like I'm like, Indiana Jones has a Marvel connection, and I thought, man, it would be cool to make a stinger. So we did. We shot the stinger. And
You were talking about future movies. You have anything planned, or just one problem at a time, really?
yeah, right now because that's the other thing too that worked out brilliantly for me. And luckily, but Luca involved me in his film called The Reunion, which comes out in September. So I edited that film for him, with him too. And excuse me, I had a sandwich on the way here. I scarfed it down, sitting in traffic and eating sandwiches. It was crazy. I was like this.
Got to keep the shirt clean.
Yeah, you gotta give it a little. Because if there was a piece of meat or something. So it's called The Reunion. It comes out in September, and it's an original movie written by Luca. So it's I'm really excited. That's really what you want to do as a filmmaker. You want to do original stuff. You know, I wanted to do the Indiana Jones thing to kind of. It really is just to get my feet wet. I learned about filmmaking by emulating someone who I idolize. That's what happens with a lot. That's what I was kind of alluding to. A lot of people get into film and it'll be Quentin Tarantino or Martin Scorsese, and they'll see Wolf of Wall Street and they'll be like, oh, I want to make a movie about that, and they'll make an original movie but steal all their ideas, and then it won't be it'll be like a ripoff, and you'll be like, oh. So what I wanted to do was my first film is I wanted to take all of the ideas that Spielberg and Lucas had and make that. Learn how they did it, and now I can apply my own kind of
expand on it.
I can apply my own knowledge because I learned a lot, so much about filmmaking. I'm glad I didn't put an original as my first, because it would have been a learning process that you see. You know what I mean? Now it's this. It kind of they made it work easy for me because I know the shots. I know all the stuff.
And also, nothing's easy. So, especially making a whole film or a whole short film, and then having something so close to your childhood definitely helped pushing you through. Because when obviously things get hard doing anything.
Oh man, this movie took over almost 2 years.
So having it so close to home, it's a good motivation. I understand.
Cool.
I can understand that.
Sure.
That's cool.
Have you ever been in a situation where people just fight for fun. Like I was at a 4th of July party, and there was these like it was with a few of our friends like JT and all these people, and there was just these 2 people.
Oh God,
You're
yeah.
talking about the kitchen wrestle?
No, not. I'm talking about different.
Yeah, I know what you're talking
I
about.
guess this happens a lot.
Continue.
But there's just like this weird trend of like guys who like. I don't know if it's. I wouldn't call it wrestling,
Dude,
but it's
I'm
like
gonna
fighting
stay here
for
and you
fun.
punch me as hard as you can in the solar plex,
Oh,
and say I could take it.
Those guys are tools.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
absolutely.
they're horrible.
Well,
but
not
it's
speaking
just,
of your friends, but I'm just
Oh,
saying
no,
like,
them too.
guys
No,
who,
them too.
No.
guys who like punch. I mean, I watch those videos; those never turn out good.
So
It's
they
always
just-
like 2 drunk dudes in a basement, and their friends are there, and they're like, "Oh, punch me!" I mean, what's gonna happen? The guy's gonna get knocked out.
Oh my
Or I'm
god,
gonna
so that happened one time. We were super drunk.
It was so
no.
good.
There were 2 people punching each other, and one of our friends. So the first kid punches him straight in the chest.
Oh man!
Straight in the chest.
No.
And this kid barely flinches, and he cocks back and punches him square in the throat.
Right.
Just
One
square in the
shot
throat.
straight to the
We
jugular.
actually have a video of it
Yeah.
that we
I
probably
could
put
blur
up.
out one of their faces, but I'll leave one of them in. I'll throw up the video.
But yeah, you should tell the video. But it is gnarly.
It's so because it's like you're drunk, so it's like all right, we're both gonna hit each other in the chest.
Right.
All right, one person does it, but then the other guy's too drunk. The other guy's too drunk, and then one fist goes a little too high,
Oh man!
right to the
But it was
throat.
funny because the kitty punch has this like incredibly raspy, weird voice.
Oh,
so in the
yeah.
video, it just sounds like, oh, you punch me in the throat.
That's funny. That's funny.
yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes people get out of hand. You know what
Oh
I mean?
yeah,
Yeah.
people,
It can get-
especially with a couple
man.
I
drinks.
mean,
on.
I'm sure you've seen your fair
Oh,
share
yeah.
of that. Speaking,
Of
you're
course.
also a
Oh, yeah.
DJ.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
of
And he's
course,
also a DJ. It's crazy,
At
man.
Bourbon Street and everywhere I've worked, I've dealt with drunk people.
What's the worst? Can you talk about the worst time, or like on the top of your head? Do
Or
you have the
just
worst
a
time,
funny time.
or
maybe.
just a funny time?
Well, it wasn't. I don't think it was at Bourbon Street. It was at another bar. I don't want to name, but Debbie is actually DJ too.
Oh really?
Yeah.
I actually
Do
didn't.
Do
I
you
actually,
ever
I
do
actually
like
didn't know that.
couple
DJs?
Yeah. That's how that's how I started DJing when I.
Really?
Oh wow.
Yeah. It's another story. Man, I you know what's funny? Like I know I'm here. We have to talk about me, but and I know based on my Instagram, you think that I like that, but it's awkward because I kind of.
No,
We can talk about whatever you want.
We
Yeah,
can talk about
yeah,
whatever you
yeah.
want.
But so I was DJing at Bourbon Street and she texted me that things were getting wild where she was. So I ran over there and some guy.
Walking like this?
Yeah. That happened twice. I'll tell that one too. Yes, I'll tell that first now. What happened was she texted me. There's this guy. I don't want to name his name, but he would be drunk and kind of like Debbie's beautiful. So like as a DJ, she gets a lot of the drunk guys.
Yeah.
They see her as an someone easy to talk to approach.
Mm-hmm.
They could just be like, "Oh, can I ask for a song?" And it's like
Yeah.
an easy way for a guy with no game to talk to a girl.
Dude, drop it
Yeah.
on them, dude.
Yeah.
Drop it on them.
So this dude would always come up to Debbie, and Debbie told me the first time, she was like, "This guy's bothering me. He's always here." Blah blah blah. I'm like, well, let me know if he's like really getting. I'll come down and I'll scare him or something. So,
Shout at him.
Boom.
Honestly, I tell her that, but I come there and I mean this with like all due respect. I come there with the intention to just throw hands, like
Just kill him.
Oh man, I'm not thinking about talking.
Watch your girl.
Yeah, I
you know?
get that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I get that.
Well, that happened too. Man, I got ADD, but let me tell this story and then I'll tell that one.
I'm sorry.
All right. So she said this guy was bothering her. So this time it happened. So she texted me. I came over there and I went up to him, put my arm. I know who he is. I put my arm around him, and I was like, "Listen, I'm giving you one warning. If you go up to my girlfriend one more time, you're gonna regret it." And he never went up to her again.
Very nice. Very nice.
I only, and part of the only reason why I was even talking like that was because Debbie works there, and as I'm running there, I'm thinking, all the ideas, like, I'm thinking, like, the other thing, too, I don't care if I lose a fight. Like, probably makes me more dangerous.
Nothing to lose.
I kind of welcome it. Like, the embarrassment, the shame, the hospital. I don't care.
Punch me in the face.
Yeah. I mean, why not, man?
Just hit me with a crowbar.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's...
Too much. Don't
Yeah,
kill me.
Don't kill me. Like that I don't want. That I don't want.
I don't care if I die. It is really hot in here.
Yeah, so the door's closed.
Yeah.
It's flowing here.
But I don't want to cut them off.
Let me get to that. So I put my arm around and blah blah. But as I'm going there, I'm realizing I can't really do anything because if I do something, Debbie will get fired.
Yeah.
Because they're gonna know. They know who I am. I helped Debbie set up. They know that's Debbie's. Hey, that's Debbie's boyfriend. He's at our bar.
He's assaulting all these.
He's assaulting.
What's going on?
He's getting beaten with the crowbar outside.
Yeah. And he's liking it.
He said he was gonna
sadistic bastard.
He was gonna fight him, but then he just stopped and he said, "Just hit me."
Just hit me. So the other story was and you know what? This guy's a douchebag. I'm not gonna say his name, but he's a DJ. He used to DJ on Bell, and Debbie was driving, and she was parking, and I think her bumper kissed his bumper of his fancy car or whatever. Geez. So it kind of kissed the bumper, and he went nuts. He got out of his car screaming at Debbie, and Debbie's like a little girl, she's not, and she's screaming in her face. And I guess he didn't realize who it was. So Debbie let him do that. Went inside to Bourbon, and do you guys know who Chris Corey is? Do you know who he is? He kind of hangs out at. Anyway, so the reason is because he said that I looked like Stone Cold when I left.
Stone Cold?
Yeah, because this time I don't think I've ever switched to anger, and so I'm DJing and Debbie comes in. I'm like, hey Debbie, and she comes over and she's like, this guy outside was screaming in my face and cursed me out, and I took my headphones off and I didn't even ask her. I just went. That's another thing. I kind of lost it. I didn't even know what does he look like. I didn't ask, so I just went outside, and Corey Pasta we call him Corey. His name is Chris Corey. We call him Corey Pasta. Anyway, he's there, and I walked right past him, and I went outside, and I'm looking for this kid, and I'm going to kill him. And my music could have went off. I didn't give a shit.
I pictured just a record scratching over and over again.
Yeah. Or you hear the broken glass and then you hear Stone Cold's music. I was like
crushing beers on your way out.
Yeah.
Shut the fuck up, Corey. I gotta go kill somebody.
It's awesome. So I get out there and he's whatever. I mean, little people can fight too, but he's a little guy. He's a little guy, maybe 5'2", I guess.
Oh, that's
little. And now I'm like, this dude, are you serious? So I went over to him, and I went nuts. I was like, don't talk to my girlfriend like that. He was like, oh, I was like, I didn't want to. Now I'm like, what am I gonna do? He's the little guy. I don't want to. Yeah. Then I'm the guy who beat up this little shithead. So then he said he's calling the cops. So I was like, oh, you're gonna call the cops? Go ahead, call the cops. Because I know the cops aren't gonna do anything. What are they gonna do? Bump his touch? I looked at his car. There was no damage. I was even gonna say if there was damage, I would have paid for it. Whatever. I didn't see anything. It was literally nothing. She told me that they barely touched.
It's like
and because he's maybe because he's insecure and he's a little guy and he's got his car. I don't know, but he kind of So the car's shining.
You know who you are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know who you are.
Yeah, you're watching.
Anyway, so he called the cops. And Debbie, I told Debbie, hide in the back. So I said I drove. I was like, if the cops come up, I'm gonna say I drove. So the cops were like, I heard them talking to him, and they were like, what do you want us to do? They're like, there's nothing here. They called the cops, and they were pissed because they got things to do too. They're working.
Just
and they don't
wasting their time.
Yeah,
for
you
this
don't want to
invisible dent.
Yeah, it's like, what is this?
Where is it?
So I listened to them do that, and I just went back and DJ, and I was like, this guy's an asshole.
Chazz is about to piss himself, so I think
you can take a break. Open the door,
please.
All
right. I immediately remembered why we don't close the door. It's because of this heat.
Oh no, it's all good.
Also, I saw in your story, correct me if I'm wrong, but aren't you 400 plus weeks running or some shit, or
400 plus?
Karaoke. This is the 400th week in a row, or
I haven't missed a day of karaoke in 3 years.
Damn.
Over 3 years.
Holy shit.
Even me and Debbie took one vacation in that time, which is kind of lousy of me being a boyfriend. I feel like I shouldn't even say that. But we took a week off, and I made it around karaoke. So the Monday, we left Tuesday and came back Sunday.
Wow.
So I didn't miss it.
That's crazy. That is a long time.
Well, it's my livelihood, so I couldn't risk it.
No, I understand that.
And at that time, there was. Now I'm would really say this. Now I got a good story. It's a legendary Bell Boulevard karaoke story that really needs to be said.
I'm ready for this.
Okay, no, this is amazing. So there's this asshole who used to do karaoke across the street. Let's start it off. And what makes him an asshole is he would post on his Facebook about us, our karaoke. He would call us soda drinkers and like, oh, there's guys are only soda drinkers. Come to the real karaoke across the street.
Oh shit!
Stuff like that.
I love that term, by the way.
Turf
you
war.
Fucking soda drinker.
Yeah, it's terrible. So that's when you really know you're in. You know?
Yeah.
You're a soda drinker.
It's like
Wait.
It's like, relax, guy.
Yeah. So so this guy's an asshole, and he's a known. Oh, he almost spit out his.
He almost got me.
I'm sorry, but he is. He's an asshole. So he and it's known to be, not just with me, but like other karaoke's. They had like feuds with him and fights with him. He's just a jerk. Anyway, I'm not saying his name. He's just a jerk.
That's fine.
He worked across the street though when it was Safari Bar. On Monday nights.
All right.
And he's an asshole.
So now
anywee,
now you know who you are.
Yeah,
now you know
he knows who he is, but he probably won't even. Anyway, so
you'd be surprised.
I would.
He just messages you.
I'm always surprised.
Yeah.
No, he won't. I'm always surprised. Anyway, so he was talking shit, and I told him, I was like, hey man, look, a lot of the people you're calling soda drinkers go to your show too. Like they go to both, and like we can thrive together. It doesn't need to be. I tried to be as diplomatic and professional as I could. And he just kept going. He kept posting like little digs and little comments. I had enough. So I was like, this guy's an asshole. So the asshole that he is, he advertised that he had wireless microphones because he saw my wireless microphones. He didn't have them for years. And he had like wired mics. And I guess someone got them from his girlfriend, I think. Got him wireless microphones. And I noticed that he's got the same AKGs I have. And I'm like, oh, that's kind of strange. Why would you do such a thing? Because now I know about frequency, and these AKGs only have one channel. So that means that we're both going to get each other's. It's going to be interference, and it's not that far apart that it would work. So I had this theory. I said, oh, you know what? You're going to do that. I took off my AKGs, and I put my Shores in because I have those, and those are wireless. So my brother gave them to me, so I had those working. And I'm looking at these, and I'm like, I could still plug these in and just tape them to my speaker and have my show go on at Safari. So that happened. I was handing the mic to people, random people, and being like, scream into this. And they would go, oh. And when I did that, I sent Corey Pasta across the street. And I said, do me a favor, go across the street and just tell me what you hear through that mic. So he goes across the street and he comes back and he's like, I hear every word you guys are saying. I heard Ted singing through the thing. And what I would do is I would turn it all the way up.
Oh my God.
And it would be taped to the speaker, and sometimes I'd make Ted hold, or whoever, hold two microphones. So they would hold the AKG and the Shure, and they would sing into both. So now they're hearing everything. And then I would grab both and I would announce both. And I would say, like, this is the best karaoke in the world.
Oh my God.
In the world. Bourbon Street.
not Safari.
And the bartenders loved it. They thought it was amazing. And he got fired like not soon after. He couldn't figure out how to stop it.
Is there a way to stop it? Is there just the one channel?
You can't use that microphone.
You gotta use a different channel, right?
No, but there's only one channel
on that.
Damn.
Oh, so you need something completely.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. He's an idiot for doing it. The reason why I knew is because, and this is actually part of this. This is a legend too, by the way. This is like everyone knows about it because the guy. It was a war, and that's why it's funny. But they're called Hatfields for a reason. The reason why they're called Hatfields is the Hatfields and the McCoys. You know that story from back in the day.
Wow, really?
Yes, that's the reason.
What?
And that's part of what happened. It's like kind of a little like feud that went on, and it circumnavigates around karaoke. It really does.
Wow. Well,
yeah. It's really, and it's a legendary thing. I mean, yeah, there's a bigger picture than karaoke going on between the two bars, I'm sure, but I don't know about it. I just know that our story of karaoke involves us crushing them. So, and another thing I do,
and you're their champion.
I guess. I am the
Thunderdome.
Without Sir John, we wouldn't have won the
war. 2 men enter, 1 man leaves. So yeah. That and he got fired, and then whatever. So now at our shows, when I remember, I'll play the Undertaker's theme, and I'll ask for a moment of respect on the mic for the karaoke.
Pour one out for him?
No, I just say, all right, I just want to make an announcement. There used to be karaoke across the street,
no more.
They don't exist anymore. If I could have a moment of respect, and I'll play like the moment, the Undertaker, the whole thing, and yeah, it's fun. I love karaoke, man. I mean, I do, and I hate it.
It's a love-hate relationship.
Yeah, it is. It really is. I make it fun. I try to, because if I don't, I go nuts.
That's fair.
Yeah.
I think that's fair.
Well, that is a heck of a story to end on.
I think we have a beautiful 110 minutes.
That is
awesome.
That is great.
That was so much fun. That was literally so much fun.
Yeah, it was.
But to end it out, we usually say, like, where do they find you? You could plug Instagram, whatever you want. Your movie, it doesn't matter. Whatever you want.
Well, the movie's Indiana Jones and the Secret of the Queen's Giant. It's coming out probably July. It might come out in September, but it's probably July 17th. My band is Dead by Choice. And you can find us everywhere, every music platform online, Spotify, iTunes, Apple Music, and DJ _JohnnyBombs.
There it is.
That's my Instagram. That I guess my infamous.
Famous.
Not infamous.
Famous. Yeah. No. That actually, before we end that, I just want to say thanks for like that. That made me feel like, I don't know. I felt good about, like, I don't know, but it's a compliment, man, to be like you guys saying that, like, my Instagram was.
Yeah, but I totally get how you feel. It's like sometimes when you're putting, especially with this podcast, when you're putting shit out into the world, and you're like, I know people are viewing this, but like, what do they really think? And we love you, so keep on doing what you're doing.
But honestly, for someone that's a drummer, a movie, movie producer, and like a DJ, like, that's a lot. That's, you put yourself out there a lot.
Yeah, thanks.
And like for us who also put ourselves out there, we respect it. You know?
That's why I'm here. That's why I wanted to be part of it.
And you have one of the the most original Instagrams I've ever seen. Usually people are just posting stuff like, oh, I did this today, but like when you post something, I tune in because I'm interested.
That's awesome.
Give more people steak sandwiches.
Yeah. Touch more people's hearts with those steak sandwiches. That's how it started, really.
That's how it starts.
But where do they find you?
You can find me on Danny Moriarty at YouTube. And that's it.
Where do they find you, Chaz?
You can find me at Chazz Wins on Instagram.
You good? You can find me at Aunt Prisco, and can't forget to follow Picky Boys Podcast, also on Instagram.
Make sure to like, subscribe, comment. Do
what you got to do, and it's all right. We'll see you guys.
Yeah, share with your aunts.
Tell us how you feel about karaoke.
Yeah. Thank you. Peace.